You know what's funny? You can share a bed with someone for 12 years and still not know who's lying next to you. 12 years with Diane. Met her at a friend's barbecue in the summer of 2011. She had a 7-year-old son, Cameron, from a previous relationship. The bio dad skipped town before the kid could walk. I didn't care. I saw a woman who needed stability and a boy who needed someone to throw a football with. So I stepped up, married her the following spring. Adopted Cameron unofficially in spirit, if not on paper. Coached his little league team. Taught him to drive a stick shift in a church parking lot on Sunday mornings. Paid for his braces, his tutors, his first laptop. He called me dad by the time he was 9. I thought that meant something. I'm a project manager for a commercial construction firm outside of Charlotte. Decent money, predictable hours. Diane worked as a pharmaceutical sales rep. Covered a huge territory across the Southeast. Atlanta, Jacksonville, Nashville, sometimes as far as New Orleans. She traveled 3-4 times a month, gone 2 or 3 nights at a stretch. It was just how things were. I never questioned it. She always came home tired but cheerful. Brought me back dumb little gifts. A bottle opener shaped like an alligator from some hotel gift shop. A bag of pralines from the French Quarter. She'd kick off her heels at the door, sink into the couch next to me, and say, "God, I miss this." And I'd believe her, every single time, because why wouldn't I? This whole thing started in November. A Saturday. Diane was at a conference in Tampa. Cameron was home from community college for the weekend, sleeping until noon as usual. I decided to finally tackle the master bedroom closet. We'd been talking about converting the spare room into a home office, which meant reorganizing storage. Diane's side of the closet was a war zone. Shoe boxes stacked 5 high, garment bags from stores she hadn't visited in years, bins labeled winter stuff that probably hadn't been opened since Obama's first term. I was pulling boxes down from the top shelf when one of them slipped. Heavy. It hit the carpet with a dull thud and the lid popped off. Inside, beneath a folded cashmere scarf I'd never seen her wear, was a phone. A Samsung, not her iPhone. Black case, no sticker, no personalization. I pressed the power button out of reflex. Dead battery. I dug around in the junk drawer in the kitchen, found a charger that fit, and plugged it in by my nightstand. While it charged, I kept cleaning. Found a small zippered makeup bag wedged behind a row of boots. Inside wasn't makeup. It was a stack of hotel keycards. Maybe 15 of them. Different colors, different logos. The Ritz-Carlton, the Kimpton, Hotel Lux. A boutique place in Savannah I didn't recognize. And receipts, folded tight. Spa treatments, room service charges, a couple's massage at a resort in Hilton Head. Couple's massage. The air went out of the room. I sat down on the edge of the bed, holding those key cards fanned out in my hand like a losing poker hand. My pulse thumped in my ears. There had to be an explanation. Maybe she collected them. Maybe they were from work events, team-building retreats. Maybe the couple's massage was with a colleague, and they just booked whatever was available. I was reaching, and I knew it. The phone powered on about 20 minutes later. No lock screen. No passcode. She hadn't bothered because she never expected anyone to find it. I opened the messages and my whole world tilted sideways. The contact was saved as K. No last name. No photo. The thread went back 3 years. 3 years. I scrolled to the oldest messages first, my hands trembling so badly I could barely grip the phone. The early texts were flirty, testing boundaries. Can't stop thinking about last night. Your trouble. When can I see you again? I could have stopped there. I should have. But I kept scrolling forward through time, watching the language shift. From playful to explicit to something worse, something tender. I love waking up next to you. You make me feel like myself again. Sometimes I wish we didn't have to hide. 3 years of a parallel life. 3 years of Tampa meaning something else entirely. 3 years of God, I miss this being a performance delivered to the wrong audience. I found photos, restaurant selfies, beach sunsets, one of them in matching bathrobes on a hotel balcony, champagne glasses raised. His face was visible. Dark hair, mid-40s maybe, fit, confident smile. He looked like a guy who sold luxury cars or ran a CrossFit gym, the kind of guy who called every woman babe and meant none of them. There was a video too. I won't describe it in detail. It was taken in a hotel room, king-sized bed, mood lighting. Diane was wearing something I had never seen, something she had never worn for me, not once in 12 years. It lasted 90 seconds before I closed it, my vision blurred. I thought I might pass out. I set the phone down, walked to the bathroom, and threw up. Then I went back to the phone. Because apparently I'm the kind of man who has to see the whole car wreck. The texts from the last 6 months were worse. Not because of the affair. I'd already swallowed that jagged pill. What gutted me was Cameron. Diane had started texting him about it. Not Kay, about me, about us. And Cameron texted back. I found the thread with Cameron saved under his name, mixed in with normal stuff. Hey mom, need laundry quarters and what time's dinner Sunday? Sandwiched between messages that made me want to put my fist through the drywall. Diane to Cameron. If Marcus asks, I'm in Jacksonville Monday through Wednesday. The hotel confirmation is in my work email if he checks. He won't. He never does. Cameron back. Got it. I'll tell him you called if he asks. Then, from 3 months ago, the one that did it. Cameron. Mom, when are you going to just leave him already? You're obviously happier with Kay. Marcus is fine, I guess, but he's so boring. Like painfully boring. Just milk him for the rest of my tuition and bounce. You've been faking it forever anyway. Diane. Cam. It's not that simple. He's been good to us. Cameron. Good to us, lol. He's a wallet, Mom. A reliable, boring wallet. You deserve actual happiness. Diane. Stop it. But also, you're not entirely wrong. I read that exchange 4 times. Each time it cut deeper. A wallet. A reliable, boring wallet. From the kid I taught to ride a bike. The kid whose forehead I kissed when he had the flu. The kid who cried on my shoulder when his girlfriend dumped him junior year and said, Thanks for always being here, Dad. That kid thought I was a joke, a financial utility with a pulse. And Diane, my wife, the woman I rebuilt my life around, responded with a laughing emoji. An emoji. 12 years of my devotion reduced to a punchline between mother and son. I didn't confront anyone that night. I couldn't. My hands wouldn't stop shaking, and my thoughts were a blender set to liquefy. Instead, I did what methodical people do. I built a case. Over the next 2 weeks, while Diane was home acting normal, kissing me goodbye in the mornings, asking about my day over dinner, I quietly disassembled our life from the inside. I pulled credit card statements going back 3 years, found charges that didn't match her official travel schedule, expensive dinners in cities she wasn't supposed to be in, a jewelry purchase at a store in Savannah, $340. She never gave me any jewelry. I called her company's travel coordinator. Didn't impersonate anyone. Just said I was trying to reconcile expenses for tax purposes and asked for a copy of her approved travel itinerary for the year. The woman emailed it to me the same afternoon. I laid it next to the credit card charges. Out of 27 trips Diane took that year, 11 had no corresponding work authorization. 11 phantom trips. 11 weekends I sat home watching football and reheating leftovers while my wife was in a king-size bed with some guy named Kay. I also looked up the number tied to Kay in the burner phone. A quick reverse search online gave me a name. Kyle Renner, real estate developer based in Atlanta. Married, 2 kids, big house in Buckhead. His wife's name was Jenna. She had a public Instagram, family photos, golden retriever, Christmas card aesthetic. I screenshotted everything. On a Wednesday evening, 2 weeks after I found the phone, Diane came home from a legitimate work trip. She walked through the door, dropped her bag, and smiled at me. Hey babe, traffic was awful. What's for dinner? I was sitting at the kitchen table. The burner phone was in front of me, screen up. Next to it, a printed stack of credit card statements with highlighted charges. Next to that, a printout of her company travel schedule with the phantom trips circled in red. And on top of the whole pile, a single printed photo from the burner phone. The balcony, the bathrobes, the champagne. Her eyes landed on the table and the smile collapsed. It didn't fade. It collapsed, like a building being demolished floor by floor. The blood drained from her face so fast I thought she might faint. She reached for the counter to steady herself. Sit down, I said. My voice was calm. Surgeon calm. The kind of calm that scares people more than yelling. She sat. I didn't ask questions. I wasn't interested in her answers. I told her what I knew. Every trip, every charge, every text, the phone, the hotel cards, the receipts, the video. I recited it like reading a project timeline at work. Flat, factual, devastating. She started crying about 30 seconds in. The ugly kind. Mascara streaking, shoulders heaving, snot running. She tried to talk. Marcus, please let me explain. It's not what you... I held up my hand. Don't. I read 3 years of messages, Diane. There's nothing to explain. Then I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots of Cameron's texts, the boring wallet exchange, the laughing emoji. I turned the screen toward her. She read it. I watched her face go from devastated to horrified. The kind of horror that comes from realizing the damage is bigger than you calculated. He didn't mean that, she whispered. He's just a kid. He's 20. He's not a kid. He's an adult who conspired with his mother to deceive and exploit the man who raised him. And you let him. You encouraged it. She shook her head frantically, tears flying. I was going to end it with Kyle, I swear. I've been trying to figure out how to... For 3 years? I cut her off. You've been trying for 3 years? That's not trying, Diane. That's choosing. Every single day for 1,000 days, you chose him over me, over us, over everything I thought we built together. She slid off the chair onto the floor, kneeling, grabbing at my hands, pressing her forehead to my knuckles. Her tears were hot on my skin. Please don't leave me. I know I messed up. I know. But I love you, Marcus. I do. I pulled my hands away, gently but firmly. You don't get to say that word anymore. Not to me. The next morning, I called a divorce attorney, Jennifer Yates, a partner at a firm downtown that a coworker recommended. Sharp, efficient, zero sentimentality. I laid out the evidence. She told me North Carolina was an equitable distribution state, not community property. The affair evidence would matter. She told me to document everything, move nothing prematurely, and let her handle the legal choreography. I followed her instructions to the letter. I didn't throw Diane's clothes on the lawn. I didn't drain the bank account. I didn't do anything stupid or illegal. I did it right. Cold, clean, calculated. I told Diane she could stay in the guest room until the legal separation was formalized. I wasn't going to give her ammunition by illegally evicting her from the marital home. She spent 3 days crying, barely eating, leaving voicemails for Kyle that he apparently wasn't returning. Good. I didn't care where he was. Cameron was the harder conversation. He came by that Saturday, walking in with his usual slouch, earbuds in, heading straight for the fridge. He didn't know yet. Diane had been too much of a wreck to tell him. I waited until he sat down with a plate of leftover pizza. Your mother and I are getting a divorce, I said, standing in the kitchen doorway. He froze mid-bite. What? Why? Because she's been having an affair for 3 years with a man named Kyle. And because you knew about it and helped her hide it. The pizza dropped from his hand. His face went through every stage. Confusion, recognition, panic, then something uglier. Defensive anger. She told you? He blurted. Not. That's not true. Not, I'm sorry. His first instinct was to identify the leak. Nobody told me. I found the burner phone she hid in the closet. I read everything, including the part where you called me a boring wallet and told your mother to milk me for your tuition, then leave. His face flushed, deep red. He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. I didn't mean that literally. I was just talking trash. You know how? How what? I said. How you talk about the man who raised you since you were 7. The man who paid for everything you have. That's how you talk about him behind his back? Dad, come on. I was being stupid. Don't call me that. The words came out harder than I intended. Or maybe exactly as I intended. He flinched like I'd slapped him. His eyes went wet. The tuition, I said steadily. I'm done paying for it. You can take out loans like everyone else. And the truck. I pointed toward the driveway. The used F-150 I'd bought him when he got his license. That's registered in my name. I want the keys. You can't be serious. Keys. Now. He stood up slowly. The tears were coming now. Real tears. The kind that make the chin wobble and the voice crack. He dug in his pocket and set the keys on the counter. They made a small metallic sound that felt enormous. I'm sorry, he said, voice breaking. I'm really sorry. Please don't do this. I'll do anything. I looked at him. This kid I'd loved unconditionally for over a decade. And I saw the text message superimposed over his face like a watermark. A reliable, boring wallet. Go stay with your mother at her sister's, I said. We're done here. He grabbed his backpack and walked out. Didn't slam the door. Just pulled it shut quietly behind him, which was somehow worse. I stood in the kitchen for a long time after that, staring at the half-eaten pizza on the plate, the condensation ring from his soda can on the table, the keys sitting there like a small metallic headstone. Then I sat down and I cried. Not for Diane. Not for the marriage. For the version of Cameron that existed in my memory. The 9-year-old who crawled into my lap during thunderstorms. That kid was gone. Maybe he'd never been real. The weeks that followed were a controlled demolition. Jennifer handled the legal side with surgical precision. The evidence of the affair gave us significant leverage. Diane's attorney pushed for alimony. Mine countered with 3 years of documented deception, misuse of joint funds for the affair, and the phantom trips. The judge wasn't sympathetic to Diane's position. The settlement was fair, but it favored me. She got her share of equity, nothing more. No alimony, no ongoing support. Cameron wasn't legally my dependent, so there was nothing to adjudicate there. Clean break. Diane's family circled the wagons predictably. Her mother called me callous and cruel. Her brother sent me a text threatening to have a conversation with me about how I'd treated his sister. I forwarded it to my attorney. He stopped texting. Cameron sent emails. Long ones, 2,000 and 3,000 words. Apologies, explanations, childhood memories weaponized into guilt. Remember when you taught me to fish at Lake Norman? Remember when you stayed up all night when I had pneumonia? That was real, Marcus. I was stupid, but that was real. I read them all, replied to none. Diane moved in with her sister in Gastonia. I heard through mutual friends she wasn't doing well, drinking too much, lost weight, wasn't showing up to work consistently. Part of me felt the gravity of that, a dim, distant ache. But empathy has limits when it's been weaponized against you for years. I couldn't afford to feel sorry for the person who'd spent 1,000 days lying to my face. Then came Kyle Renner. I hadn't forgotten about him. I just hadn't been ready. I didn't hire anyone. I didn't do anything violent or illegal. I didn't need to. I had something better than muscle. I had information. Kyle Renner, real estate developer, married father of 2, Buckhead McMansion, golden retriever Instagram wife. I'd saved every relevant text and photo from the burner phone. 3 years of evidence that his wholesome family man image was a performance. So one evening, I sat down at my desk, composed a very careful letter to Jenna Renner, and mailed it to her home address. Priority mail. Inside was a printed summary. Dates, cities, hotel names. 3 selected text messages, redacted to protect Diane's identity but leaving Kyle's words fully visible. You make me feel alive. Same hotel. I love waking up next to you. And one photo. The balcony, the bathrobes, the champagne. Kyle's face clear as day. Diane's face cropped out. I included a short note. Mrs. Renner, I'm the husband of the woman your husband has been seeing for the past 3 years. I thought you deserved to know. I'm sorry you're finding out this way. I know exactly how it feels. I mailed it on a Tuesday. By Thursday, Kyle's Instagram went private. By the following Monday, a mutual acquaintance in the real estate world mentioned that Kyle Renner's wife had filed for legal separation. A week after that, his business partner posted a vague announcement about organizational restructuring at their development firm. I didn't follow up, didn't need to. The domino I tipped over did its own work. The truth, when it finally gets loose, doesn't need supervision. That was 4 months ago. I'm still in the house, repainted the bedroom, got rid of the closet shelving and built new ones, threw out the cashmere scarf, donated the boots. I see a therapist every other Wednesday. She calls it betrayal trauma. Says the triggers will fade but probably never fully disappear. She's right. I still flinch when I hear a phone buzz in another room. Still feel a cold lurch in my stomach when I drive past the airport, imagining all those departures. Still catch myself listening for the sound of Cameron's truck in the driveway, before I remember there's no truck and there's no Cameron. He sent me a birthday card last month. Handwritten. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I want you to know that the years you raised me were the best years of my life. You were the only real father I ever had. I'm sorry I didn't act like it. Cam. I read it twice, put it in the desk drawer, and went for a long run. I don't know if I'll ever write back. Some doors, once you close them, you're not sure you have the strength to open again, or if you even should. But I keep the card. I keep it because despite everything, despite the lies and the texts and the laughing emoji, there was a 9-year-old boy who crawled into my lap during thunderstorms and believed I could keep him safe from anything. I keep it for him. Not for the man he became. For the kid he was. 12 years. That's what it cost me to learn something I should have known all along. Trust isn't a gift you give once. It's a bet you place every single day. And sometimes, the people you bet everything on are the ones holding loaded dice.